Y'all know that I'm a Bible person, and so in the Bible is where I find all of the answers to society's ills. Luke chapter 10, verse number 25 is where I'm going to be. I'll give you a moment to get there. I'm talking to you who's listening to me, not the people that you think I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. That you, the people of God, the chosen, the holy, the royal, the people of God's own election. He wants you to show others the goodness of God. He wants you to be more like the Samaritan than like the religious. But I want you to hear how they tried to trap Jesus. In the B part of verse number 25, it says, he stood, meaning the Pharisee, to put Jesus to the test. And he said, Jesus, teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life? See, they thought they already had it. Just like many of us sitting around the screen believe that we've already got it. But Jesus' answer was this: what's written in the law? How do you read it? Verse 27. And the Pharisees answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Y'all so churchy. Jesus said, you've answered correctly, verse number 28. Do this and you will live. But he wanted to justify himself. And so the Pharisee, with his churchy self, with that absolutely right religious answer, then asked this question: well, who is my neighbor? If you want to be saved, your love has got to go beyond just being churchy. Your love requires a call to action. It requires more than Mikey's dance and you clapping. It requires more than the apostle's song and you waving your hand. It requires that you have a call to action. It even requires more than your hearts going up, your thumbprints going up as I'm talking on today. It requires that God's people speak out against injustice. God's people have to speak what's right when things are wrong. God's people have to understand that the Father's will is that nobody should perish. Why? Because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, all they that dwell therein. You churchy. Red, yellow, black, white. Jesus loves everybody. And he's called us to see the world just like he sees the world. And he's called us to become the light in the world so that people can see him clearly. Do anything less is to become a bigot. No better than the priest. No better than the Levite in this story. Denying what's obvious, burying our heads in the sand, and lying to ourselves about the reality of this present day's systematic racism, misogyny, ageism, xenophobia, homophobia, and including transphobia. Because until everybody's free, everybody is still in the cage.